Hello, everyone. Happy Monday morning. I'm David Gussin.
And I'm Jodi Jacobs.
And welcome to
Hello, Long Island.
Hello, Long Island. How are you? Are we supposed to say that at the same time, Joe?
I think it's supposed to be in unison. I think we're
we got to work on that.
We got to be together and everything.
We're a match, right?
That's it. We're a match. Yeah, that's
in fact, that's
nice.
our guest today. Is we have a matchmaker on. Hopefully, they'll make us a better match. At least maybe they'll help us say hello, Long Island, at the same time. How are you today, Jodi Jacobs?
I'm doing okay. You know what? Every Monday, I am so excited just to kick off the week here.
You're so wonderful, but you're not very smart. I mean, you see me. I can't stand seeing myself Monday mornings. What are you excited about?
You've got more energy than the Energizer Bunny. I can't think of a better way to start the week. So.
Anyway, that's good. Did you do anything exciting this weekend, Joe?
I had one of those weekends that I had completely planned out that completely changed at the last minute. So I had two impromptu, my birthday's next week, two impromptu birthday celebrations and had some friends over, which was great.
That's nice.
There were a couple things going around town. So I promised that I would shout out and just thank everybody that came down to Title for the bone marrow registry. So they really appreciated everything there.
That was Stephen Stone from Title. He was a guest. And,
and even Norm Wasserman, that was here last week, he ended up getting caught up in the whole thing, and he went down and volunteered and helped on Saturday. So it's just amazing that this networking world is as giving and loving and to people they barely know and really pitching in. So I think networking gets a good rap. I understand it hasn't gotten a good rap recently.
Oh, it gets dissected, and I don't blame business owners for dissecting it. But even back to Norman Wasserman, going to Stephen Stone, who works with that, and I know he has a close friend who works on another charity. And wouldn't it be nice in a year from now, Norman, who puts together benefit concerts for charities, is working with Steve. I'm not saying it will, but all the seeds are there to be planted, that they might work together. And who knows, maybe they'll pack some wonderful venue here in Long Island, bringing people together for a cause, listening to great music.
Right.
And
I know a few
they
bands.
met here, and if we do nothing else, that was a good one.
Well, it's a good match. I think that's a nice tie into what we're going to do a little bit later.
And networking and everything. You said there was a couple of birthdays. So was it your friend's birthday celebration, or are they celebrating your birthday? Is your birthday coming up this week?
It's coming. It's
Can I get help from the staff? Can we just say happy birthday, Jodi? Happy birthday, Jodi!
Thank you. Thank you.
Man.
Yeah, it was great. It was actually impromptu, last minute. Just a couple of close friends had popped by, and it was one of the nicest evenings I've spent with friends in a long time. I think we get so caught up sometimes in planning parties and doing things, and you forget just to be with people. And everybody kind of left their phones. We were all happy to be in the room with those people. Had a great meal and just hung out, had a couple glasses of wine, so it was fun.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, Jodi, but everyone I introduce you to loves you. I introduce you to this one. Oh, I met with Jodi. She's great. Oh, you want to meet with me? No, thanks, David. I'm a little busy. So for me, they're a little busy, and for them, they just love you. So just thank you for just hanging out with me, because it makes me look better.
I think I'm using this show as as lunch dates, because everybody I meet here is so fabulous. So if I hadn't known them coming in, I always find something about their business that I want to talk to them. I'm in the business of meeting people and making connections. So when we have a guest on the show and I hear about what they do and say we have a chance to go out to lunch, I'm always fascinated by what they have to offer. So even last week with Norman, I ended up meeting with Norman last week. So thank you again. And within a day, even less than a day, he actually got some information back to me about a charity that I am working on, and helped me set my mind straight with regard to budget. One of his thoughts were you need to really run that like a business, all your charities like a business, in order to make them as profitable for the charity. So he was wonderful. And
when I'm listening to what you told me you and Norman did, one thing you did that's becoming, to me, a bit of a lost art, maybe for a variety of reasons, lost art might not be the exact right term, is you guys followed up.
Yeah.
You followed up somewhere, you reached, you got on the phone, you met, you did. You told me there's some thoughts of networking and people don't follow up and this and that. And if we analyze it a bit more, you could take a whole college course to analyze it. But in the little bit that we do today, we'll touch upon that. Even before we move on with the show, I do want to thank and congratulate our sponsors, Blue Chip Marketing, us, 516 Ads is been proud to work with them for years. And it's very simple. Man, they look to do good stuff in the community. They look to help businesses get out there. That's exactly the vibe of why we do this show. We do this show to hope that we get up to hope that this becomes a tool for Long Island. There's a way for them to get their name out there. Joe,
showcase so many good businesses, because a lot of people go, I think, as unsung heroes, that people don't know that these businesses exist, and they really need to.
Good businesses see the synergies, understand what happens when people come together and they're looking to not so much work together like a team, but more like feed off of each other.
The energy. It's
feed off of each other. And it's not that anyone else could give someone something, but if you're around good people, opportunities arise from that. And as the individual business owner, it's up to us to take advantage of them. Another point that I'd like to bring up, you know, in networking, one of the things, people think like I'm some expert on it. And I don't really want to be. I kind of am, so great. If I'm an expert on it, great. That pales in comparison to what you, the business owner, needs to do to make your business succeed. Dear Abby didn't talk to her mom. There was a big host today, I won't even give his name, it would just be too wrong, but he's a host, a psychologist, and he gives all kinds of advice on TV, and he's popular. But meanwhile, his daughter just wrote a thing of the ailments that she has with, in this case, eating disorders. Get great advice from wherever you get from. But the key to your life and the key to your business is you. Right. There are no gurus. I'm no guru to make your business great. Can I help you a little bit? I hope so. But it's up to you to take that and make that great. The reason I mentioned it is a lot of business people, they count on other people to make what they do great. Right. It's just the wrong way. Counting on others to make what you do great is not going to work. It's up to you to make it great and benefit from others. Am I crazy, or does that make a little bit of sense?
It makes a lot of sense. I think, you know, if you take the word networking out of something and you think about, like what you just said, a smart business owner. When you go out and you have the opportunity to meet people, if you don't follow up, you're making a bad business decision and not following up. It has nothing to do with networking or not networking. Networking was a forum, a place for you to go, and it was a word to just say what were you doing that night. But you were conducting your business at a networking event. So if you don't follow up, that's something that's your own practice that you need to work on. Not necessarily something that's a fault of networking.
Yes. It's weird. The word networking goes probably back forever. I mean, it goes to prehistoric times. The first time people came together and built something with stones, they were networking. I'm sure it could be described as networking if one chose, you know, to do it that way. So people have been doing it forever, but this proliferation of networking on Long Island, which I guess really is this is where it's starting. So we're building the path here in Long Island of a region of businesses coming together, and so we have no other path to follow. With that said, this is a thought, and once again, can't be totally dissected. There can't be too much networking, but someone could network too much.
Okay. All right, explain.
Because from the business, maybe the other networkers and the people putting the events together and the business owners are like, oh, all this networking, which one do I go to? Which one don't I go to? They have to make their way through all this that's going on. They do. I shouldn't want so much. I should everyone want coming to my events. But how could there be too much networking? If networking is thought of that you bring good people together and look for synergies and good things happen from that, there can't be too much of that.
And it's always on a different schedule. And I think you've done a great job of pulling away from just the word networking with this Create activity now, because it's really a matter of what room do you want to be in, what night during this week do you have time to do that. You know, I work with a few business owners that, you know, they enjoy networking. They enjoy it from a business sense and they enjoy it from a social sense. But at some point, you have to do the business of the business. You have to make a smart decision about what room you want to walk into and what room you're going to be able to create the most activity in once you're there.
Even you just said you have to. Obviously, there's a serious episode on networking. Can't have a matchmaker because by the time we're done, Jodi might say, I don't want to be a match with you anymore. But it's funny. Something about networking business, and you just said, and I'm not correcting you, we're talking here. We're talking out loud. This is networking college course day for these 10, 15 minutes. No, they don't have to. If they're there and they want to socialize, they can. So no one has to do anything. It's always, for me, I like to have respect for exceptions to the rule. 99.9% of people come to networking and you would think they're there for business. But I still have an open-mindedness and a respect for if the person's there for social, they're not necessarily wrong. You know, they're there for social and that's okay.
That's a part of it.
But most of these people are here for business. Networking is gym, guys. Networking is easy. It's become so prolific that similar to sending out an email blast to a lot of people or sending out a Facebook post or just attending an event, you could fool yourself into thinking that you're working because you showed up or sent out an email. But like you said, we want to make things that work. We're looking for pinpoint accuracy. We might fail, but we want to. And really, every business owner should deal with their own expert. Because every business owner has their own personality, their own way of doing things, their own industry that they're in, their own budget, and how they would get through this maze of networking would take a pinpoint meeting of what they're looking to do. But overall, networking can't be too much. You can't network too much. Talk to experts like Jodi. Speak to a pain in the butt like me. Reach out to Corinne Carroll from Blue Chip. There's lots of great networkers and lots of great people creating smart business activity in Long Island. Take advantage of it. There's a lot of wonderfulness there. A lot of good things come in the community from there too.
I certainly do. Hey, listen, I have something I got to tell you. So I know I always look forward to Monday mornings, but I'm going to need to miss like one or so in the coming weeks. So I have a beautiful girlfriend right now that is going through chemo, and every Monday she goes to chemo. And every Monday I can't be there because I'm here. And I love being here because there's great stuff here, and she has a wonderful network of friends and her family that have been wonderful. So shout out to Millie, I love you. And I'm hoping to be able to take her into the city to go through some of her chemo treatments as well. So I'll give you a little buffer there on a day or two that I can't be there. But
hey, Joe, I got to let you know, the reason we do everything we do, both of us, the reason I have you sitting me, you don't got to give me any buffer if not necessary. You taking care of your friend is more important than us doing the show. It's more important than any event. It's more important than anything. When I think that, besides thinking how wonderful you are, what I think is that's everything we've always wanted to represent from everything we started. Stars and a lot of fluff make the media. Real moms and real dads and real friends who do what she just said that she's doing. That's everything. It's up to our voices to be heard. That's what this show's for. So the Jodi Jacobs of the world, the wonderfulness in her and the so many people she around, that's what this is for. You like what we say, you don't like what we say, I hope you like it. But man, I'm always proud to try to just be what you just said. Right. Anyway, if we didn't scare our guest away, Maureen, are you still here? Yeah, she's still. We didn't scare her. Well, you're gonna introduce our guest, Joe.
I'm gonna steal this from you because this is fabulous. But this woman is so wonderful. She has 3 names to describe her. So, Maureen Tara Nelson.
Yes.
And she is the #1 matchmaker on Long Island. We're going to talk a little bit with her about matchmaking. Going to have a little bit of fun with that, and also being a business owner on Long Island. What she's done to be so successful. So, Maureen, will you come join us?
Hi, Maureen.
Hi, great to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Wonderful to have you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here, Maureen.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Now, usually we've had real estate experts, insurance experts, Obamacare experts. We wanted to lighten things up a little bit and bring in, and hopefully help you match me and Jodi so we get along better on this show. But you wouldn't have just been here brought up as a matchmaker. I did love Fiddler on the Roof and Matchmaker, make me a match, find me a find, catch me a catch. But you've been voted best of Long Island how many times?
6 years in a row.
Oh, okay.
6 years in a row.
Yes,
how many matches have you made?
Over 1,000, of which I just stopped counting after 1,000, only because
it's proven.
And no other matchmaker, thankfully, is at that level, so I don't have to keep that up. It's much easier to say over 1,000. So.
And get the personal touch versus, I never, if you're, jumping on some of the sites that say they're going to make the match, and you don't get to meet the person that's actually making, helping to set that up for you. So, how did you start your business? How did you get into it? Because it's something, you never know that you could actually make a business doing that, but you've been obviously very successful.
Thank you. I started about 10 years ago on my own, but I started matchmaking 13 years ago. I had the best mentor in the world, and when he taught me how to be a good matchmaker, I had the opportunity of going to different companies and learning what was good with them, what wasn't so good. So then one day I realized, through the help of many friends, of course, too, why don't I do this on my own? And about 10 years ago, I said, I can do it. And that's been, you know, for the past 10 years, it was the best decision I ever made. I love what I do. I'm blessed. I thank God every day for what I do.
People are thanking God for you.
Yes, I have 1,200 clients. They're all amazing, and I love every one of them.
Men first, women first? What's the percentage? Is it 50-50, 70-30?
Well, with my 1,200 clients, I'm not for everyone because I couldn't be, because I am still the type of matchmaker that interviews everyone personally and does the matchmaking. But all of my clients are Long Island singles that are successful, positive people, stable, and looking for a committed relationship, attractive. They could find people on their own. That's not why they come to me, but they come to me for the ability for me to match them up with someone that they have compatibility with.
And that's your key criteria you were saying earlier.
Yes, that's my niche, that I do hand-selected matches to this day. I work 70 hours a week doing so. And I match people up on 3 parts of compatibility.
And what are those parts, or you can't give the secret formula away?
Well, I really don't like to give away all my secrets,
fine.
only because I am, as you know, the only matchmaker on Long Island that has
Do you hold events, or is it more one-to-one?
I used to do that.
So this is not a singles event.
It's not like that
situation
anymore. Now it's just precise dating when you're serious about finding the right person
Pinpoint accuracy.
to share.
I like that.
The right
Pinpoint
person.
accuracy.
That's when you come to me, so I could do all the work for you, and you could have fun dating.
Well, you know what? What's so interesting, I was actually thinking about this as we were getting ready for this segment. I have 2 absolutely gorgeous girlfriends. One girlfriend is 51 years old. She's never been married. She's always had wonderful boyfriends. But she's looking for like the person that she can do things with and she can grow old with. And you have so many independent women these days. They're not all looking to get married. They're just looking, in so many cases, they're just looking for somebody to share their life with. Yes. On the flip side, I have a girlfriend who's 28. Again, beautiful, brilliant, and she's having a hard time finding them. And we work so much, so even when we're at these events and we're, doing our, either working for somebody or we have our own business, we don't even have the chance to get out there. And walking into a bar seems so, it's just something that's just, So how do you approach it differently if you're in a different demographic, or is it just part of kind of a questionnaire, or how do you kind of start to fine-tune who you've got and then look that towards the pool of inventory, if you will?
That's a great question, because with my age range, I start 20s and I go up to 80s. And believe it or not, it's the same regardless of what your age is. Okay. As long as you're looking for a committed relationship, I handle the whole process the same way. Matching people up based upon compatibility, and then we just have to hope that fate will have them have chemistry together. And I show photos as a matchmaker. That's something that only probably 1% of matchmakers do to this day. But I think it's very important
because they don't show photos.
They don't show photos. I know why they don't. We won't get into that. But the reason why I do it is because you need compatibility and chemistry. So I'm doing the hard part. You'll never, if you come to my company, you'll never meet someone that you realize 2 years later we weren't compatible. You might come into the situation that we're so compatible we want to be friends, but the chemistry didn't go up, because that's fate. We don't have control over that.
Right.
But those are the 2 must-haves for a relationship to work and last. So I'm doing the hard part, and I show photos to give the little step in the right direction for the client to see if they have that initial chemistry.
Do you get invited to weddings?
Yes, I do. Yes,
that must be nice when that happens, huh?
Yes, I decline them all, though, only because my mentor taught me 13, almost 14 years ago, not to go to the weddings, because he had more faith in me than I did, because I'm a former pharmaceutical rep. So I kind of got into matchmaking just to help people. And he said, you're going to be good at this. This is going to be your life, which is right. This is my life with my children. But he said, if you go to one wedding, you'll have to go to them all. So good thing I didn't, because I would be broke.
You've been doing this 13 years, and probably even before that in your mind, you were doing it for even longer and didn't even realize it.
Yes.
Have you seen changes over 13 years? Our society seems to get more quick-paced and everything. People are Facebooking and Twitter, the feeling of having to see something. In the old days, man, you either had to see, I either had to meet a girl and impress her in person, talk on the phone.
It wasn't speed dating.
It wasn't about Twittering well or Facebooking nice. Have you seen changes in the atmosphere atmosphere of how things take place.
Because we all know the internet is out there and internet dating is very big. You can't turn on a television show without seeing a commercial about that. But what they don't tell you is how dangerous it could be. So nowadays, people are becoming more educated when they're looking to find the person that they want to share the rest of their life with. And they realize, is it really worth a full-time job just to try to find someone, not knowing if you'll be compatible with them, and then taking on a security risk as well, because again, it is quite dangerous. So I've noticed over the years, when I first started out, people would be a little skeptical when they first walked into my office. Now, men will walk into my office, they'll say, Maureen, I'm a very successful businessman. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want, and I'm paying you to find it.
A more efficient way to do that. If you had kind of a top tip to give to somebody, you're thinking about, maybe you swore off the dating scene, or you're finally over the hump. What would be maybe your top 2 tips for when you're getting ready to date, or even just about yourself, where they need to come to you? Somebody coming to you that isn't quite whole themselves, I don't think is in the right mind frame to date. So what does somebody need to almost prepare for, or be ready, be at a point to come to you?
Great question again. When people come to me, they have to be ready for that committed relationship, number 1. But the most important thing is they have to be in love with themselves. They have to be fixed. I'm a matchmaker. I can't fix someone. So when people come in, they already have to have done the work on themselves. They have to feel that they're the best that they can be, and then I take it from there.
Just as a business owner, my first thought is in what your field is, and it is different. You say people have come in and they were wary of it. That should be no surprise. Regular people would think that way at first. Yet you've been here, you've been successful for years. My first thought is, if you're going to do what you do, Long Island's a pretty wonderful place to do it.
The best.
Being a singles matchmaker in Tennessee might just not work out the same, but at least you have the affluent people here, intelligent enough, who are busy like your friends, and they just can't meet people, and they would use a person like your services. Separate from all the matchmaking, you're a business owner. That means you have to brand yourself, put stuff out there. You have many different options, whether it's the social media, which could be a tool of yours, whether you write blogs, whether you give seminars, whether you come on a Hello Long Island show. We just always like to know what different business owners are doing.
How do you get it out
there? Not just the good and the bad. It's not all good. It's bad too. You've been doing it 13 years, voted best of Long Island 6 years in a row. Give us some highs and lows of what it takes to get there, business-wise, not just matchmaking-wise.
Well, since I started the business, I was never very big on networking, as you know that, because we've had many conversations being out.
You're always nice to me, though.
Oh, yes, because you've always been so nice. And you are the Energizer Bunny, so that was a very accurate... Okay, so when I first started, I just promoted myself in the typical ways that I felt would reach enough quality single people. And again, I'm not for everyone. So people have to be really ready to find that committed relationship. So I did the necessary advertising, and one of the mistakes that I did make is I didn't do the networking as I should. One of the reasons was because I do work 70 hours a week. The second reason was a little bit of fear. But recently, things have gotten even better in my life, and I'm even on more of a strong mission to help every single possible person. And I realized along with that, I am going to have the help of David, who is the expert on networking. I've known him for the 6 years that I've known you, and if you notice, I just recently came back into being out at certain parties, and I said, I need you now.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for that. If I'm an expert on networking, the first thing I would tell someone who I deal with is, as I've said before, it's not all about networking, but can be certainly a wonderful tool in addition to all your hard work and getting out there. We have just a couple of minutes left. One thought going through my head is, when you're putting people together, can you see the guy's point of view? Or could you see more the woman's point of view? Do you reach out to any guys to maybe help you with the guy's point of view? Just because it would be just wrong of me to think I could always know the woman's point of view, I might say, Jodi, this is a thing. What do you think? Just want to know that. Well,
growing up, I'm the
give
youngest.
a guy a tip.
Yes.
Is it all about the shoes?
Well,
what is it?
I'm the youngest of 6 children. I have 4 older brothers. So growing up, I was a tomboy. I loved playing sports in high school and college, and I always could rely upon my brothers for any sort of advice when it came to men. But I will say, for a man that is ready to start looking to find the right person, the most important thing is have an updated wardrobe. Everything else,
lady.
It is about the
when I can sit down with a man, I could help him with everything about his personality, things that are good, things that he should kind of lessen and bring out the best of him. However, I can't go to Macy's with him and pick out an outfit. So that's my only request to all you successful businessmen out there that are looking and ready to find a committed relationship. Do your shopping first. Come in and impress me first with what you're wearing, because that first date, she's going to be looking for a great dresser because she knows I do all the work. The women are beautiful, smart, successful, sexy women in my program. Very simple.
Yeah,
just dress nicely.
We know somebody who could help with that. Right?
Yeah, dress nicely. I get it.
Yes.
I know it. I could figure that was the answer, and thank you for it.
You're welcome.
And ladies, man, find the guy that loves his mom and dad. I'll give the tip to the ladies, man.
Yes.
Make sure they get along with their families.
Yes.
When they go on a date, if the guy should open the door for you, reach over and open their door too.
That's the Joey test.
The Joey test. I get that one you heard of. I like to ask ladies, do you shovel? I wouldn't want them to shovel, but I'd like that they'd be willing to. I would never let you shovel, but I'd like to know that you would.
I think my biggest thing is we need to concentrate on our similarities, not our differences. Yes. And I think, you know, if you kind of level the playing field there and in the compatibility, if you're willing to do some things that are outside of your comfort zone and he's willing to do the same, I think somewhere in there you've got a great match.
Man, have a sense of humor and all that kind of stuff. We have 1 minute left. Tell Long Islanders, you got 30 seconds of that 1 minute. Tell Long Islanders anything you'd like.
Well, I pride myself on being a very normal, natural, easygoing person that will give 100% to all of my clients. I do all the work. I'll be matching you up on 3 parts of compatibility, showing you photos of someone that's already compatible to you. Your only job is to look at the photo, look at the short bio, say yes or no. Other than that, you'll be successful if you take all of my advice. And please give us a call at 1-888-31-MATCH. Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure. Jodi, 30 seconds left. Anything for our wonderful Long Island audience?
I think I would recommend this book to anybody that is interested in a committed relationship. It's by Gary Chapman. It's called The 5 Languages of Love. We don't feel love the same way. We don't interpret it the same way. So you could be loving somebody your whole life and they not even feel it. So go out and get that book. If you're going to do a good service to yourself, I would get that.
And last thing, camera, first of all, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for our sponsors and teammates at Blue Chip for working with us. And I'll just go back to the old Jack Walsh phrase, control your destiny or someone else will. Whatever camera I'm looking in, guys, we live in a great region in the country. There's lots of wonderful opportunities / possibilities here to take advantage of. It's up to each and every one of us to do them. Let's not get fooled by the negative media. It is wonderful, caring people that make the world go round. From Hello, Long Island. Goodbye, Long Island.
Bye.
See you next week. Thank you.